Welcome to the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast. I'm your host, Forrest Kelly. From the seed to the glass, wine has a past. Our aim at the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast is to look for adventure at wineries around the globe. After all, grape minds think alike. Let's start the adventure. Our featured winery is... In this episode, we head to Oklahoma, in a city where the average commute time is 17 minutes. Not bad, considering mine is an hour and a half. Average household size is 2. Median family income, $47,000.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yes, Carrie Underwood was born here. Talking about Muskogee, Oklahoma. Also home to...
Hi, Forrest. I'm Bob Wickheiser. I am the winemaker and co-owner of Pecan Winery in Muskogee, Oklahoma. I'm glad to be here.
How did you get to this point where you started Pecan Winery?
Well, wasn't it the Grateful Dead who sang about what a long, strange trip it's been? My resume in brief ranges from being a physicist in medical imaging and starting and selling 2 companies, software companies in Silicon Valley to firms. That's where I learned winemaking and wine appreciation, wine pairing. And then after a number of years and 3 years of commuting to Asia for a semiconductor project, I went to seminary in Cambridge, Mass., became an ordained Episcopal priest, was up and down the East Coast in Washington, D.C. at the National Cathedral for a year, and then I got tired of that and wanted to be under the radar, so I've been in Muskogee, Oklahoma for about 10 years. I would get frozen grapes and make wine as kind of a hobby, and a member of the community said, gosh, you got to do something with that. Well, we partnered up, and he's the farmer, I'm the winemaker.
With that background, Bob, I imagine that you get pretty adventurous sometimes in winemaking.
I have made a little bit of wine from concentrates just to see what it's like, and in general, we do not, at Pecan Creek, we do not use concentrate except in 2 parts of the production process. And by the way, those are completely legal in France and California. One is chaptalization in fermentation, and we may use some grape concentrate to boost our sugar level up 1 or 2 bricks just to get a desired final alcohol concentration. And we may also use grape concentrate in final sweetening, back sweetening of the wine to produce a sweeter wine. Outside of that, no, there's no concentrate in this process at all.
In the wine business, your job can be varied. Is there such a thing as a typical day for you?
I wouldn't know typical if it hit me between the eyes, but a lot of times I'm still the rector of an Episcopal church. Now, we have virtual services and all that stuff. Besides writing and producing services every week, I have 3 or 4 other articles I write online, and we're the only Episcopal church in Muskogee, but I may write church stuff for 3 or 4 hours between 4:30, starting about 4:30 or 5 in the morning. And then my cellar crew, I'll get something to eat and some coffee, and my cellar crew gets in about 9. Every Monday, they have 1 or 2 pages of detailed lists of what to do. And I go over every day for about 45 minutes or so just to clarify and answer questions and occasionally do calculations. I get an aside, being a physicist, I'm astonished at the lack of math skills in the general population. So I'm doing all the dosing calculations and transfer calculations and filtering determinations, stuff like that. So. And then any problems need to get resolved. I may do them in the morning, or I'll go back to church, or stay home, one of those 3. And then the winemaking duties besides that also amount to managing sales, managing finance, purchasing department. I think the other day I counted up 17 hats I wear. So it's a good thing, too, because I don't have any hair.
It's time, boys and girls, for our listener voicemail.
Hi, this is Alice from Muskogee, Oklahoma. I'm interested in knowing how different grapes and different grow based on different climates and different altitudes across the United States, and how that affects the different quality of wine produced. Thank you.
As the saying goes, some wines have attitude, some wines have altitude. But it's a good question. The Napa Valley in California maxes out at about 3,000 feet. You head over to Europe, you've got 4,300 feet. And then Argentina checks in at the highest with almost 10,000 feet. You could make a case that the higher the altitude, the better the wine. However, you could also make a case that it doesn't matter, that what really matters is the process. Thank you for listening. I'm Forrest Kelly. This episode of the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast was produced by iHiza. If you like the show, please tell your friends and pets and subscribe. Until next time, pour the wine and ponder your next adventure.
This is Doug Vincent with the podcast Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories. In 1956, I contracted polio. Thanks to my loving parents, I've lived a full, rich life over the past 67 years. Join me as I share my journey and uncover inspiring stories of resilience. This podcast is a platform for survivors of disability and those who champion services for the disabled community. Tune in on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. Let's walk and roll together on this incredible journey of strength and empowerment.